What's up guys and welcome to FPL Today. I'm the man in the know, JNO, and welcome to my team for Game Week 27 Transfer Thoughts, where we go over what I'm planning to do moving forward in the Fantasy Premier League to maximise my FPL points, and hopefully that can help you with some of your decisions going into Game Week 27 and beyond. So let's get straight into the video, and we start off as always with fires to put out, where we look at the issues I currently have with my side and see what I really need to be considering as far as my team and the moves I make going forward. And at the moment, we are looking at 3 players with a blank game week going into game week 27. Those players are Digne, Aguero and Button, who, to be honest, Button isn't even starting, so that's not as big a worry as it initially would be. So we do have 2 players that definitely aren't playing, which means we are currently with a team of 12. But we do have the issues with Doherty and Pereira potentially not starting, which would drop us down to 10. We then have the Man City fixtures after Game Week 27, which I'm a bit worried about not having Man City coverage for if I did decide to transfer out Aguero because of this blank game week. And then we have blank Game Week 31, and do I hold a transfer going past Game Week 27 so I know a bit more information about when the blanks and doubles are going to happen and then use my transfers accordingly. But before we get into those topics, we do look at the fixtures. And the fixtures right now, there are a bunch of teams that have what looks like a very favourable fixture list, with Leicester City potentially being top of the pile, with Crystal Palace, Brighton Hove Albion, Watford, Fulham, Burnley, Bournemouth and Huddersfield with no blank game weeks, which gives you that security of always having a starting player. We then also have Huddersfield, Newcastle, West Ham and Bournemouth, all with favourable fixtures. Potentially, Bournemouth could have some good assets there for you, and West Ham if they start to pick up form again like they did have at certain points in this season. And Huddersfield and Newcastle of course have something to fight for, so potentially there could be some points there. You do then have of course Liverpool, who don't have any blanks, which is great for us planning for game week 31. And then there's also Burnley and Chelsea. While Chelsea do blank in game week 27, after that there are no blanks for them and they have a double game week to play at some point. And the fixtures aren't too bad after Tottenham Hotspurs, considering they have Fulham, Wolves, Everton, Cardiff and West Ham. So we start off with blank game week 27, and my planned transfers, as you probably already know if you watch the series, were Aubameyang at 11.1 million and Pereira at 5.3 for Aguero and Digne, which would give me a strong side going into game week 27. However, I am now worried about the amount of transfers I have going towards game week 31, and my current chip strategy is to transfer to game week 31 to have a potential side of 11, then to free hit in game week 32 so I can maximise my points for game week 32. Then hopefully my team will be in a strong place as I get more information for game week 33, wildcard in 34 so we can bench boost in 35. I do not have the triple captainship, so I don't have to worry about where to fit that in. Now if I make this transfer from Aguero to Aubameyang, and I do want Aguero back because of the Man City fixtures, I'm using one transfer to transfer Aubameyang in and then a transfer to transfer him out, which takes away from the transfers I have to get that team of 11, potentially leaving me with a team of 9. And then also Digne doesn't blank in game week 31, so I'm transferring out a player that doesn't blank for another player that doesn't blank, which feels like it could potentially be a waste of a transfer for me. Now I'm not adverse to making some minus transfers in game week 31 if need be. For instance, there are players that I think have a favourable run going towards game week 31 that I won't want in game week 31. So that might be something I do. For example, Doherty is someone I can bring Pereira in for because he does blank in game week 31, but I really like Doherty at the moment and have some money tied up on him. To be honest, the bench in game week 31 is probably going to consist of players I just can't see myself getting rid of. That is potentially Son, Pogba and Rashford, just because of the money I've earned with them. Those are the ones I think will not be going anywhere. But I've also earned money on Jimenez and Doherty, so they may just go out just before game week 31 if I feel like that is necessary. And the reason I'm so worried about Man City fixtures is because after this blank game week they have West Ham, Bournemouth and Watford. They do then blank again, but then there's Fulham, which could be a double game week, and then there's Cardiff, which potentially could be another blank. So they have West Ham, Bournemouth and Watford, the 3 games after game week 27. And if you look at West Ham, Bournemouth and Watford, they're actually not the worst teams defensively, but there is definitely scope for Man City to get some points there. We're looking at 3 teams that have conceded 9, 10 and 6 goals between them. Shots conceded, 90, 78 and 99. From inside the box, 56, 50 and 67. This is all in the last 6 game weeks, by the way. On target 32, 27 and 32, and big chances conceded. West Ham with 12, Bournemouth with 13, and Watford actually with 17, which might be why Foster's been getting me so many points recently. So I almost feel like getting rid of Aguero for Aubameyang and then bringing Aguero back in is a waste of transfers, and Aguero seems to be the striker that I want to keep in my side. And then finally we have Blank Gameweek 31. It's finally been confirmed. You can check out my video on that if you want. Link should be in the description or on the card. And at the moment I have 5 players in Game Week 31 currently playing in my side. Those being Schindler at 4.2, Digne at 5.3, Fraser at 6.1, Robertson at 6.8 and Salah at 13.6. Now they're not going anywhere apart from maybe Digne, because I was really planning to get rid of Digne for Ricardo Pereira. I have 6 transfers till Game Week 31 currently, 2 of them at the moment for Game Week 27. There's a chance I only make 1, and it could be for a player that I don't plan on keeping that will blank in Game Week 31, and it's unlikely now to be Pereira unless it's for a blank player, and it's very unlikely to be Aguero coming out for Aubameyang now, which I do worry a little bit about because I feel like Aubameyang could punish me. So I've got either 5 or 4 transfers after Game Week 27. By that point we might know what double Game Week 32 looks like. And max players without taking a hit for Game Week 31, I could actually get to 11. But then of course there is the issue of weakening my side in game weeks like 29 and 30 because I've taken out players that have very good potential game weeks. And if I do make the 2 transfers, that potentially drops me down to 9 transfers after Game Week 27 if my transfers aren't focused towards Game Week 31, or 10 depending on what transfer I make. So I'm really leaning towards looking at one of my players that blanks in Game Week 31 and making 1 transfer for that and that alone, which would mean Pereira potentially not in the side and Aubameyang almost certainly not getting transferred in, which is a worry like I've already said. But that is kind of the way I'm looking at it right now. But what I would love for you guys to do is leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Let's have a discussion about this, as it is a very confusing time of the season, and I think bouncing ideas off of each other could be very beneficial and helpful to us all. So guys, thank you so much for joining me on this episode of my team for Game Week 27 Transfer Thoughts, where I have gone over my transfer thoughts and probably not as concisely as usual, and I haven't really pinpointed players I'm specifically looking at because right now so much of my focus is going towards what my move is going towards Game Week 31 and onwards. So a lot of that has to be considered before I make my move. I should probably announce my transfer on Twitter, hopefully on the Friday early in the morning, but there's a chance I leave it until last minute to make that move. Also, keep an eye out for the blanks and double game weeks episodes on this channel. I plan to do some more around Game Week 31, 32, 33 and 35 as and when I have information to give you guys. If you have enjoyed this episode, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe and that notification bell if you're new to the channel. Check out the links in the description down below if you want to support the channel in any way. Go check out the FPL Wildcat stream where I bounce some ideas off the fellow Wildcats about all of this stuff as well. Link hopefully should be in the description. I forgot on the last video. I've been JNO, this has been FPL Today, and remember, it's all about the game.